Welcome to Living the Dream Iowa Life. I'm your host, Hannah Nuss, and each weekday we'll share enthusiasm for what's possible and dive into the stories of Iowans living their dream lives right here in the heartland. Whether you're chasing a big goal or just looking for a little inspiration, we've got you covered. Let's change the world together. This is Living the Dream Iowa Life. Let's go. Hey, yo, welcome to Living the Dream Iowa Life podcast. I'm your host, Hannah Nuss, and this is Living the Dream. And one of the most important pieces of living the dream, living your dream life, doing the things that you want to do, is the people that you do it with. And I cannot stress enough, and I was journaling about this morning, I cannot stress enough how that one decision to go on that date, to find the person and to, I think, just decide to do life with that person. And there are very different distinctions of what that looks like. I mean, you can do life alongside someone, and that is a sort of a beautiful existence of how this all can work. It is, but doing life with someone, with them in this life, that is unlike anything else in this world. I mean, deciding that you have each other's back. And I think for me, as a Enneagram 7, as a Leo, most importantly, knowing that I'm taken care of, that someone is watching out for me, that they got me, and whatever that's going to look like, whatever twists and turns this life will have. And we definitely had a couple years stint where I know it was like, oof, Hannah has gone crazy. I think Hannah's gone crazy. I know Hannah's gone crazy. And, I'm either going to continue to forge this path with her and come alongside her crazy and help her figure that out. And, or I'm going to kind of resist this change, this new being, this person that I certainly did not marry, this completely different way of thinking and raising our children. And I'm either going to embrace that and we're going to grow together, or we're going to just grow separately alongside one another. And to fuse those roots of growth together, and not from the start, but definitely to continue to forge this life together and do life together. I think I am so very blessed in this world, and definitely journaled on that subject this morning. There were a million choices, a ton of options and opportunities to go a million different ways. And I don't know how I got so very lucky to have someone that really does, literally I was going to buy a sign for Enneagram 7s, and it said something like, "You are taken care of." I was going to buy it for myself because I feel that. I feel that in our relationship. I feel that in how we're doing life together. And he probably doesn't feel that, but I also don't know that he needs that. That's one of the things that I need, is to be taken care of. And definitely I was taken care of enough growing up, but to kind of fall back into that security has been relieving, has allowed me to create in a way that I've never felt comfortable creating before, has allowed me to expand in ways that I've never expanded before. And I know that comes with sacrifice, and I know that comes with an extreme responsibility to get things figured out. But I could not be more grateful for the life partner that I have in this world. And I say that, and I say that without hesitation, because really I've just never seen someone so selflessly show up in a relationship. I mean, when I decided that I was going to go on this journey, I remember telling him in a car ride back home, like, hey, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to build this life-changing empire, and I know that word is really big, and I know, like, I want to write books, and I feel like we've been building up to this bigger existence, even though I couldn't put that to words at that time. Like, I know. And I remember both of us looking at each other and just being like, bleh. That feels heavy. That feels sickening in some way. Like, that doesn't feel great. We don't want to do that. But at the same time, I think the feeling came from knowing that I wouldn't be able to see it any other way from here. And, my husband has been a constant pusher towards possibility. And I wrote him a long love letter a few years ago, just saying, like, the second that I decided that I was good enough for him, or that we should be together, or whatever I decided, because certainly it was not up to me. It certainly was up to him. But whatever I felt like I decided in that, I think when I decided that this was the person for me, that was the moment that I decided I was worth more, capable of more, wanted more than I had ever wanted before. And also, as he would remind me at really important points in my life, that, like, there's no reason that I couldn't aspire to that. There's no reason that that couldn't be our life together. There was no reason that all of this couldn't be ours. And I don't know, to be with someone that's like that has the ability to push you like that, but not only push you like that, back you like that, take care of you like that. And for those of you who are like, I would never be in a relationship like that. That is crazy. How did you won the jackpot? I don't think it was always like that. I do think we had to make the decision to grow together. At points, I had to make the decision to just continue growing, regardless of kind of wherever this was going to lead us. That, like, I'm gonna keep growing, and I don't know what's gonna come of that. I know that our minds are very different at this point, but I see what we could be. I see where we can get, and if I'm not doing the financial lifting of things, I can definitely be doing the spiritual, emotional kind of lifting of our family unit and of our mindsets. And so that was very much my work. That was kind of the quest that I was on. That was aspiring to bigger things than kind of we had been assigned in life, and figuring out how to start off on that quest, and how to take our children down a quest of kind of experiencing full potential. And I think we're still definitely navigating that road, and the twists and the turns, and raising a family together, and doing all of that in a relatively small town, and doing that with the same family struggles that everyone has, the same realities that everyone has. There are going to be car accidents, and there are going to be deaths, and there are going to be heartbreaks and pain and decisions and abandonment and rejection and all of the terrible things. And to know that you're going to do that with someone is super powerful. And I cannot say enough about making sure that when you make the decision about who you are going to do this life with, it is with the understanding that you are going to have to grow together, and there are going to be moments where growth is not something that's on the table, where just acceptance and love is. I know when our kids were really young, like, you're going through so much as a mother hormonally, and this is always the advice that I give. You're going through so much as a mother. Just really like lowering your expectations of one another, and like coming together in that moment. Like, it is you two against the baby. It is not the baby and you against dad. It is not the baby and dad against you. It is mom and dad versus baby. And we should put all of our focus and energy on, yes, loving this baby, but also, like, how do we conquer you? How do we fix you? You are the problem. Mom and dad are not the problem. Mom versus dad is not the problem. Like, it is us two against the world. And our world right now is you, little baby. And you are the point of conflict. You are the reason we are not sleeping. And so I always just suggest, like, you are tired. You probably don't hate your husband or your significant other or your partner. You're both tired. So just go at your relationship for the next couple of years with a lot of grace. Like, you're both tired. It is exhausting. No matter who's doing the majority of the work, no matter if it's completely balanced, you're both not in a great state to make leaps and bounds in your relationship, in your life, in anything. And that's not that any of that's impossible. It's just tough. It's a tough phase. It's a tough phase. And yeah, I think to have gotten through that without any help, any assistance, we did have daycare during the day, but to have gotten through that, both in full-blown careers, both in full-blown school, I don't know that you can get through anything after that, because I've definitely seen people fall off after that, but man, it sure makes you feel like, if we did that, A, how do we do that? B, holy crap, we must be stronger than we were when we first met, right? Like, there's got to be some sort of unbreakable bond after that experience that we could overcome anything together, right? That's got to be the path from here. So yeah, it's crazy. It's been a lot of years. And it feels like a lot of years, but then it also just feels like you keep relearning each other. Each year, each memory, each moment, you're sort of learning more about one another and uncovering each other in a deeper, more meaningful way than you were last Monday, and kind of figuring those things out. And I don't know. And then also figuring out how you want to exist in this world. And I know for us, a lot of the existence that we've been kind of pushing back on is this, like, very screen infused community reality, really pushing back to exist in the world, to go do things instead of sit in front of a TV, to go explore things instead of exploring behind a phone, to get out into life, get out, and to see us kind of disregard smartphones completely. I mean, I say all the time, like, I can't get my kid to take their phone anywhere. And people are like, I cannot get my kid to put their phone down. We have the exact opposite, but I also think it's very rare that we would be on our phones. It's very rare that we would take our phones in anywhere. It's very rare that um, we'd be sitting there on it. And I think what a powerful example, but also what a powerful way to exist together. Like the moments that we are together, we're there. And I've kind of read up or learned a little bit more about existing alongside, and really the cell phone culture that we're in is creating a lot of relationships where people exist alongside one another but really don't exist together. They don't have moments where they exist without someone else being able to penetrate that space at all times. And that looks like phones on the nightstand. That looks like phones. Someone could always distract you from this moment. Someone could always pull your attention from this moment. And not to say that we didn't ever have that in the existence of human beings, because by no means is this the first time that something could pull us from that existence. But definitely the world is actively changing, and being tuned in and online at all moments of the day, I think, is a really hard existence to balance in the world that we're living in now. So, yeah, just so grateful to even be growing together in that existence. You know, we were very anti screens when our kids were little, and it got us a lot of flack. It still definitely gets us a lot of flack. I don't know if our kids are going to end up being like super antisocial weirdos. I guess if you ever met them, you can just let me know if they are or not. But I don't know. We just never were into that kind of pacifying their attention. And not that they've never seen a screen before, not that they've never grabbed a phone before, been on it before, just that, you know, the bulk of their time, we really want to press presence. And the bulk of our time together, we want to press that same kind of present being, present attitude. And oh, it's just, it's a beautiful thing, presence. And I don't know, like how rare to have someone that wants to spend time with you, you know? And I think how often do we take that for granted? Like we go, oh, my kids, they always want to be with me. Even in the bathroom, they want to be with me. And now seeing that kind of fade out, I think about how sad it is that we all kind of wish those moments away. That we go, oh, you know, my kid just wants to be with me, and eventually they don't. You know, eventually they don't. I know we're touched out, and it's a lot, and kids can be a lot. It's a lot, but at the same time, like, that's only going to last so long. They aren't going to be with you forever. Same with your spouse. They aren't going to be with you forever. They maybe chose you, but if they want to spend time with you and like spend life with you, how cool. How amazing to have someone that wants to take up space with you in this life. That's such a rare thing these days. And I just love thinking about that experience. I love thinking about other people's relationships and their experiences, and our relationship is far from perfect. I mean, gosh, we used to fight about everything. I think we've gotten better, mostly because we're doing a better job to balance when we're just hungry as a family unit. Like, oh, are you just hungry, or are we? You know, is the sky falling, or did you skip lunch? Skipped lunch. Okay, I think we'll be all right. Let's just eat first. And I feel like that's one of the biggest things for our family. That's where a lot of the friction comes from, is just not eating on appropriate time schedules. And probably for a lot of humans, that is a big issue. But I don't know, just the amount of grace that goes into growing up together. Um, we became adults together, but definitely didn't grow up like alongside each other. We're not from the same height. We weren't high school sweethearts or like middle school sweethearts or even college sweethearts. We were like late in life college sweethearts. Not even, you couldn't even qualify it as that. We were seniors in college when we met. And then we were just like, yeah, let's do this. And I know in the beginning it was coming from this like very, I see the goodness in you. You see the goodness in me. Couldn't we create this like really good thing? This really powerful family? Like, could we do that? We could do this. We could do this. And I know that we both saw that or felt that because we've both kind of explained that thought. But it is one thing to feel it. It is a whole nother to actively pursue it. It is a whole nother to rise to that occasion because we definitely went in like, oh, okay, we're going to be kind of grumpy and we want to do things, but we can't, but we kind of can. We can do some things. And I think, for me, would it have been resistance filled? Would it have been anger filled for one of us to pursue something and not the other? Certainly. But I think we both came from this space of let's keep doing things. Like we're both accomplished athletes and academics. Let's keep kind of going after success. And early on, that looked like this very superficial amount of success. And I think both of us figured out that ain't it. Oh, and if that isn't it, then we really have to sit with the fact that we don't know what is. And I definitely was the early adopter on that one. I kind of stuck my neck out there and said, this isn't right. This isn't us. This isn't who we could be. And then started chasing that down for us. And I think that was the appropriate way. I think if he had been the one to go out, there was so much to figure out. And he definitely could figure it out because he's so smart and he's so just gorgeous. And like to have a brain that works that well, to be so intelligent and like steady and patient and sure, and to be gorgeous, not fair. Not fair. Not fair. Now, I feel very lucky that that's mine. That's my gorgeousness. Mine. That's mine. But like, that's not fair. That's not fair to do to the world. That's not fair. Whoever the maker of this being, like, that's not fair. No one is supposed to have it all. And yet, here he is having it all. And so I feel like that kind of setting the stage for what our life was going to look like, that's a pretty dang good start to know that you're with someone who really checks all the boxes, to know that you're with someone that can help you raise the bar. You guys can raise the bar even higher together. And I think for me, that really is what marriage is about, is the continual mobile ability to rise your stature, to rise your status. And when you are doing life together, like everything together, the strengthening of one another, the strengthening of the vision and the mission of this life, when you're doing that together, when you're growing together, that really is when you start to see things shift and change and move rapidly. And I don't know, everything maybe isn't moving in the direction or the timeline that we always want, but I do think no matter what, this step, this rhythm, this chance that we took, because it definitely wasn't like a, hey, I'm going to leave my job, too bad, get over it. It was like, okay, if we're going to do that, here's how we need to plan for that. Here are the sacrifices that we both have to make in order for that to be possible. Here's what that has to look like. And I was just saying the other day, there just aren't very many men who would sacrifice in that way, that would say, you guys should have this great life, and I'll provide that for you. I'll keep working. I'll keep making sure that that can happen. I got us. Like, I don't know. Andy's good looking. What? And he's fit. And he's smart. And he is that capable. Okay. And he's like, I don't know, 1999 Honda Civic as a work car doesn't sound so bad if that continues to provide the life that we need. Now, I cannot wait for the day when I get to like roll in this brand new custom truck for him that I bought for him with cash. I can't wait for that day. And until then, I think just seeing him very humbly say, I don't need to look a certain way. Like, as long as our family's good, as long as my girls kind of have what they need and they're happy, like, I'm happy. I'm happy, and I don't care what people think about me. Even though certainly there are days, like maybe the day that the entire muffler fell off and the car was loud enough to know when he's coming into town from a mile away. Yeah, maybe that day, I think he was probably like, do we keep sacrificing like this? And our story will not forever be a story of sacrifice. I do know that. But I do know that there is a humbling portion of love. It is about sacrifice and the betterment of the whole versus self. And that's what partnership is supposed to look like. And that's what growing a family, growing in marriage is supposed to look like to me. Everybody's version of that is a little bit different, but that's really what it is for me. I'm lucky enough to experience that. Is it perfect? No. Is it?
Where's Mom?
No, it's not. It's kind of somewhere in between madness and normalness, and I am. Nope, you're not welcome here either. Goodbye. I'm recording, but I'm almost done. I have like 3 minutes. Okay. Okay. And with that nice, lovely little interruption, as always, you're smart, you're strong, you're beautiful. What are you going to do? Change the world.